Welcome to the grand final of Robot Wars Series 1, and let's have a look at how the robots are going to be meeting up. You already know about them, so who's meeting who? In the first round, it's Nipper versus Legobite, 74158 versus Bash, Mr. Blade versus the Axe of Justice, and Eric versus Frankenbot. Well, very interesting matches there, very difficult to call. I cannot wait to get this heat started. Well, what better way to start it off than with Nipper versus Legobite. Let's go down to the arena and get them machines ready for the first round battles. And while they're setting up, let's have a little sneak peek of what is going to be coming up tonight. Spinner's certainly going to be hard to beat, and not to mention that battle, that free-for-all. Get ready for that one. Roboteers, stand by. Well, Nipper done so well to get this far, beating Terahertz. And, well, Legobite's done a lot of destruction on its way through. 3, 2, 1, activate. Well, a bit of a slow start from both there. Legobite trying to get up to speed, and Nipper, well, using the tactic of backing in, and that's a great shove into the corner. Legobite in trouble already. Really getting pushed towards the corner here. Needs to do something. Legobite trying to get back onto its feet, trying to get back into this fight. In come the claws, and Nipper backs away. Oh, and there's a good shove as well. Legobite doesn't seem to have an answer at the minute for Nipper. Nipper doing all the early work here, and unexpectedly, Legobite there slams into the arena sidewall, but there was some damage there, look. Good slam there from Legobite, and righting itself as well. Off comes one of those side spikes. I think it's only superficial damage, but certainly interesting to say the least. And another big slam in there as well. And again, and you have to say, Legobite's starting to get to grips with this one. Oh, and what was that come off? It was on this attack here, and it's one of the claws. Nipper has lost one of the claws. Oh dear, and that was, well, certainly expected in a spinner fight. Nipper in all sorts of trouble, needs to try and get out of the corner, but has turned Legobite onto its side. Can they now get it towards the pit? Legobite is in real peril out there. Nipper pushing them on the arena sidewall. And if they could just get Legobite towards that pit, we could have a massive upset here. Self-righted now. Can they spin back up? They're being pushed around the arena, though. Oh, and another good slam in there again. Legobite starting to get to grips with Nipper, but they need to be careful of that pit. Oh, Nipper, this could even go to the judges. Oh, no! They time the attack wrong, and they get thrown down the pit. Legobite go through to the second round. What a way to open the grand final. Brilliant stuff. Great stuff. Legobite go through. Roboteers, stand by. Not sure who I really fancy out of these two. Both have been good machines throughout this series. Bash, bit of a surprise to get this far, though. 3, 2, 1, activate. Well, Bash certainly would feel the underdog in this scenario. Oh, and there's a big slam straight away. It was right in the initial confrontation here, and I think Bash has already lost that weaponry. They were pinning all their hopes on being able to turn 74158 upside down. That was a good shove, though. 74158. Oh, bit of damage to them, though. That side has opened up and now being slammed into the corner. We saw a similar battle play out in the first battle there, using that spinner and chopping them into the corner, and Bash seems to be in a bit of trouble. The pit button didn't work in the last match for Nipper. Will it work for Bash? They need to try and get back into this fight. They seem to have stopped there. As Bash broken down? I don't know. Another little slam in there, and Bash is in all sorts of trouble trying to get out of that corner. I don't think there's much life. Oh, hang on. A little shove back there, though, so there is still some life in Bash. Spinning round, coming in on the attack, needs to try and do some damage, and now flipped up and over, and without that weaponry. Oh, surely not going to have a Shremek. I'm surprised they went in for the kill again. And again. Well, 74158 way ahead on points, but has to be careful of that pit. Oh, is there much life left in Bash? I don't know. Every time it looks like it's going to die, it seems to come back to life and being pushed into the corner here. I think it's dead, is it? No, wheels away once again. There's still a bit of life in Bash, and another slam in there, so no real damage done other than that initial shove, and they'll be disappointed with that. Being edged towards the pit. And I think Bash has cut out now. It's not moving at all. Oh, still a bit of drive on one side. And there goes the base plate. The bottom panel has come out of Bash. Oh, nearly chopped into the pit. And they're trying to get away. Oh, now back up on its end. In all sorts of trouble. Off come a set of wheels. And this is the knockout blow they were looking for. Oh, and look at that. Look at this attack here. Coming in and doing the ultimate damage. Bashing absolute pieces. Here we go. It was this nudge here that ends the career of Bash in this series. Well, 74158 goes through. What a fight that was. Cease. And still doing damage at the end. Rebeteers, stand by. The Axe of Justice has been the surprise for me. Certainly the spinner killer wedge and Mr. Blade. Well, already spinning up. 3, 2, 1. Activate. Straight away, they both come face to face. It's going to take a lot to flip Mr. Blade over like we saw Decimator in the heat stages. Oh, that was a good shove, though. And again, and what's happened here? Is there any damage? I don't think there is. Not really much happened so far, but Mr. Blade's starting to get to grips and is doing damage now. And off comes the axe. The axe is gone. The Axe of Justice in all sorts of trouble. And Mr. Blade doing the damage that we expected it to. Oh dear, and already turned turtle. They need that pit opened up. The Axe of Justice is on its back. I think that's going to be it. They've got no way of getting back up. And Mr. Blade, will they go in for one more? Yes, they did. One more hit, and that is the end. Mr. Blade go through. Rebeteers, stand by. Good old Frankenbot. Good in their heat, really, to get through. And Eric, always a bit of fun. 3, 2, 1. Activate. Slow start from both. Eric gets around the side. Tried to use those nippers to get in underneath and flip Frankenbot up and over. Oh, and that's a good shove right into the arena sidewall. And Frankenbot now is teetering. Could we have one of the fastest fights in Robot Wars history? Oh, we have. Eric has, well, totally destroyed Frankenbot. What a shame for them. I bet they're really disappointed. And Eric up again against Mr. Blade. This is going to be a tall order for them. The dominant force has certainly been Mr. Blade this series. 3, 2, 1. Activate. Well, Mr. Blade hasn't really broken a sweat on its way through. Good shove in there from Eric towards the arena sidewall. No damage, but there's a huge shove. And what on earth's happened there? Eric exposing its backside, and a wheel's come off. One wheel on Eric's wagon, going round and round in ever-decreasing circles. What on earth can they do here? Eric in real trouble. Needs to try and get that weapon lined up for a flip because Mr. Blade cannot self-right. Another good chop in there, and off comes one of those claws. Eric is in all sorts of trouble here. What a shame for them. Can they do any damage? Pushed into the wall. I think they've been immobilised. And Mr. Blade, well, Eric's still twitching a little bit. They twitched, didn't they? Up to speed. Oh, and last chop in there. Look at that. More damage. What a shame for Eric. Mr. Blade go through to the grand final. Rebeteers, stand by. Well, the last fight before our grand final. And are you excited? I sure am. 74158. And Lego Bite, bit lucky to get through against Nipper for me. 3, 2, 1. Activate. Nothing really happened so far. Both slow off the mark. Oh, but a good chop in there from Lego Bite. And that early attack has taken out the spinner. That is unbelievable. Well, they come ricocheting off the arena sidewall. But 74158 has certainly shedded some weight. Loses its number. Well, it's #1 weapon. Lego Bite now, though, trying to do some damage and isn't really doing much at the moment. Just trying to get back up to top speed. They need to stay on them here. The chance is there. They do have a good chance here of doing some damage if they can get lined up for a flip. And try and flip them over just using the brute force of the bot. I think They may have died already, I'm not sure. Let's have a look. I don't think there's much life in 74158. The one-eyed machine, well, is heading home. And Legobite trying to go in for the chop towards the pit. They don't need to, because they've won. Roboteers, stand by. I'm not going to go through all the robots because we'll be here for a little bit of time, but it's really just a favourite rumble from some of the real standouts from this series. 3, 2, 1, activate. Well, Terrible, coming in on the attack. Decimator, you have to say, is trying to make amends for a disappointing end to their series, and Flipper's lost its flipper and one of its wheels as well already. Decimator, well, doing the work in the background there. You can see 4x4 getting involved, and Nipper managed to patch it up back together for this rumble. They did a great job, and that's something else just come flying off. I think that was off of Nipper. Terrible's just sat there. I don't know if they've been immobilised. There's not much left. Oh, and in comes Frankenbot for a shove. Flipped up near to the arena sidewall. Terrible, well, still enough life in them to get rid of Flipper, and, well, Nipper, I think, had done. 4x4's lost its flipper. I don't know when that happened. The pit's opened up. What can Frankenbot do here? They're the only robot that seems to be moving out there. Oh, and they're chopped on the edge of the pit. Are they feeling? I think their wheel's spinning, but they can't get out. And hang on, who's that wobbling underneath there? Was that Nipper? I'm not too sure. All of a sudden, Frankenbot is right on the edge, just trying to get out of that pit. They've got out of the way. Oh, they're chopped straight back down into the pit. What an act. Oh, and another chop. This is unreal. Decimator is bossing this battle. It just goes to show how well the Acts of Justice did to destroy them. And I think that's the end of Nipper as well. There's a bit of a twitch in the corner. I wouldn't have twitched, not with Decimator in this sort of mood. And Decimator wins the fan favourite Rumble. Cease. Roboteers, stand by. So all the robots, and it comes down to this. Legobite been consistently strong throughout, but has anything been as strong as Mr. Blade? Well, 3, 2, 1, activate. And for the last time this series, we start off with an activating straight away. It's Legobite in all sorts of trouble. Look at this. It was on the first exchange. Well, they got the better of them there, and look at that Legobite now on its side. Mr. Blade straight away on top in the grand final. This is the sort of fight we wanted. Two spinners doing damage to each other. They both turn and face each other once again. Comes spinning back round. Legobite was a spinner killer in its last fight. Oh, and they've done it again. Look at this. Mr. Blade has lost its blade. It's just a mister now. Well, the weaponry's gone. There's no bar spinner, and Mr. Blade now is going to have to try and win a pushing match. Getting in round the side of Legobite. Legobite's still trying to spin up and do damage. This is not the way I thought this would go, let me tell you. Damage now being done as Legobite... Oh, hang on, what's come off there? Legobite has lost something there. That is part of its self-righting system. And if they're flipped over now, Mr. Blade could get back into this fight. I don't think they're going to be able to self-right. Pushed into the corner. Mr. Blade now slowly working its way back into this battle. Legobite spinning at a slower speed. Doesn't want to gyro over. It could be all over if they were to do that. Couple more nudges and shoves and a spin. Oh, they get caught on the arena sidewall. And Mr. Blade now has the opening. Good slam in there from them. Great stuff as we see the action. Oh, and Legobite's on its side. Oh, gets out of the corner. Mr. Blade, you have to say, has certainly upped their game in the second half of this fight. Legobite is on its side. Look at this shove here from Mr. Blade. Coming and turning Legobite onto its side. And they're spinning, well, just round and round, but not really going anywhere. Mr. Blade comes in with a great slam into the arena sidewall. What a way to round off this series this would be. Well, there's been some tosses and turns in this grand final so far. Legobite needs to try and self-right. Can they do it? Yes, they can. Good stuff. And getting back into this battle, it's certainly one of the longer ones we've seen this series. Oh, and nearly flipped out of the arena. This is unbelievable stuff. We haven't had a judge's decision all series. Could this be the first battle? We nearly had an out of the arena. Oh, Legobite very lucky to bounce back down onto its feet there. And Mr. Blade, you can see the damage there because the back panel started to lift up as well. So obviously damage has been done. Pit button depressed. Is Legobite thinking of putting Mr. Blade in the pin? I'm not too sure. We're getting very, very near to the time now. Oh, and they're turned all the way up and over. That last shove. And Mr. Blade, is that it? Lego Bike can't move. What an upset. Mr. Blade battered and beaten, but kept running and has won Series 1 of Robot Wars. And there you see, that is what did the damage in the end. Mr. Blade in absolute bits and pieces, but is our champion of Series 1.